The Oklahoma City Thunder can only win if they play like this.
Ball handler McCain lifting, launching, knocking a three.
Now some of you are probably like, what? Play through Jared McCain? And to that I would say no. The answer is for Shai to play with his team, not play through his ego. Most times we would see him shift the pace to try and push all the way to the rim, but with the Spurs' main game plan being to get the ball out of his hands, you already know Johnson and Fox would try to collapse if he pushed middle, along with Wemby waiting on the backside. So the smart decision is to already see the man open up the floor and send it up there for a quick and easy look. In this video brought to you by ProdGxm, early on you can see that Shai is still not fully adjusted to the Spurs defense, as in this moment he has made the correct read before, but it's highly crucial that he stays steps ahead of the defense when it comes to getting doubled. This here is where some people will have guys like Luka Doncic placed higher than him, because being a star comes with knowing that this double is on the way. So 1, Shai should have already made this pass to Chet right about now. But even when he does continue to push and the double is fully activated, Shai should still be able to use the jump pass over both of them to still set up Chet. Well, when you miss that pass and you continue to the rim, this is where we would see Shai rise up for a jumper initially, and right here, I'm sure we can all see where Shai wants to go. And that's the I heart right on the block since Wemby helped over. This would be a great option, but Wemby's arms are long enough for him to quickly reach over to either bother the pass or block the shot, and then Champagne is on the backside as well, ready to help over. The main thing about being a point guard is not only getting your ball to your teammates, it's about getting it to them in the best position possible, which in this case will be sending it out to Dort in the corner, but instead here comes the turnover. Too many times in this series we have seen Shai evade doubles with the handle, which at times is understandable, but once you end up facing another double team, it's best that you already had your eyes up to see where your open guys are, and in this moment I believe trust is a huge factor, as one simple pass to Dort would have led to a 3-pointer, or perhaps he would have attacked Victor Wembanyama. But Shai feels like he's the better option to go score even when the double is present. Now does Shai think this consciously when playing? Probably not. But there are times where he waves off Chet where he certainly does think so, and it's one thing to wave off a guy to then make a good play. But after Chet's hot start, and with him having a mismatch at the current moment, getting the ball to him would be the best so he stays engaged. Well, Shai decides to wave him off instead, and even upon attacking middle, you have to understand that this Spurs defense is selling out to stop you. This is why Dylan Harper is all the way in the middle of the paint when helping off McCain, and I understand that things move fast and hindsight is 20/20, but in a playoff series where the other team is making it extremely tough for you to get going, this is another pass you have to make. Instead of that, Shai decides to attack Castle into a spinoff that eventually gets stripped. All this here isn't to down Shai's value to the team. We know he's the MVP, but there's something clear. When the ball is flowing and not sticking with SGA all the time, the Spurs seem to collapse even more. With there being more shooters on the floor, and in this case talking about Case and Wallace, it makes the movement even more important. All series long, Wemby's been helping off everyone he's guarding to either cut off Shai or so he can stop drives like we see here. Usually they can depend on this because Shai is more so looking to go score, but when the ball is in a much better flow, that's when you get this quick pass to Williams that makes Wemby react hard, and then Williams can instantly send it out to Wallace, who can then knock it down.
Great pass, Williams. Wallace for 3.
Things like this make me be harder on Shai, as the attention to detail from Wallace is exceptional. He's watched the coverages, and he knows that Wemby is going to dive into the paint anytime someone drives. It's not that it's a hard thing to understand, but it's that once he touches the paint, he's already in motion to swing it to the corner where Caruso is open, and this results in a J-Will butterball.
Wallace the push. Caruso moves it. Williams at 3. Timeout, San Antonio.
See what I mean? Reads like this have to be consistent from their start, and he has to see that his presence on the court will pull the defense towards him, so not only does he have that quick pocket pass off the roll to Hartenstein right here, but he also can now choose between Wallace and Caruso on the 3-point line due to Champagnie having to guard both of them. Well, with Johnson closing out, this is how you know Champagnie most likely won't close out that way. Johnson has a long closeout to make, so the pass to Caruso is the best option. Getting doubled like this is the greatest luxury Shai could have for his game, as the opportunity to make your teammates better should always be the goal if it's possible, and when 2 San Antonio defenders commit to him, you have another quick pocket pass to Hart who can decently play make out the pick and roll, and this will certainly have to be something that he needs to add in his bag during the offseason, because options like this shift the entire defense, as Fox would have to tag up on Hartenstein, and then one simple kick out from Hart could make the defense go in scramble mode. Moving the ball is always going to be a better option when playing against doubles, so when we play this clip, you're going to see the Thunder be successful once the defense is shifted over just enough for Shai to find the open Caruso for the tray ball. More reads like this will be needed to elevate this team, as Shai will continue to make the defense forget about their man completely like Wemby does on this play, and San Antonio must have had a game plan in mind, as Wemby assumed someone would pick up Hart, and boy was that mistaken. As the stakes get higher and the defensive scheme tighter for Shai, he needs to just slow it down even more and take out one of the threats first. Whether he chooses to lunge to the outside to pull both of them and then hit Hart, he could decide to bully into Wemby to draw a foul or dump it off. And as we roll the clip, you're going to see him bully into Vassell first to then immediately shift his focus to Wemby. This is why taking out one guy is important, as now you make other guys make a crucial decision whether to stay and help or not, and if they don't, this is what happens. If you're like me and you watch these games closely, you know that OKC is at their best when everyone is in a flow state, and that's why next we have to dive deep into the impact of the other guys. These games become even more exciting when multiple guys are connecting, and to take it up another level, when you know you can play responsibly and have the means to do so, ProdGxm is the #1 app for sports picks. The playoffs are well underway and we're close to the finals, and ProdGxm is the best place to enter your lineups for a chance at a nice prize. When you get on ProdGxm, you'll see that there's so many sports to choose from, and then there's even different filters that you can click on to choose on certain things during a game. Honestly, it's pretty easy to use. All you have to do is pick more on a player or less on a few players' stats to then put them in your lineup. For example, I think Shai will understand the bigger picture and distribute the ball even better, so I'll take him for more assists. And then after looking around and grabbing a few players that I think will hit the numbers, I can finalize my lineup by submitting, and now I just sit back and let the magic happen. If you want to place your own picks and follow my lineups, you can sign up for ProdGxm in most states, including California, Texas, Florida. And if you sign up for ProdGxm with code HMA, you get $50 instantly once you play at least $5. So either download the app or click the link in my description and let me hear your picks in the comments. Now, like I said, you want to get multiple guys going, as this helps your team play in a flow, and unlike most people would believe, Wemby isn't the best defender on the perimeter. Now, am I saying he's a target? Nah, not at all. But the Spurs love to use him more as a roamer around the rim, and for OKC, they ran Hart and Chet together, so the Spurs would have to pick their poison on a mismatch. And right here, this allowed Chet to take his time when going at Vassell to then sink this turnaround jumper.
What I like to see, Chet being aggressive at the offensive end.
Anytime Chet would have a mismatch, Wemby would be lurking in the shadows ready to help, which is why I say shooters along the perimeter is such a key thing. You can't see him right now, but Jay Will is in the opposite corner. All it would take is to spin off towards the basket for Chet to pull Wemby in even more to then hit Williams for the corner 3 or to send the defense into rotation. That's exactly why this defensive scheme is a little risky. And then also, for the most obvious, Chet has the mismatch, so he can just have his way. When building on that, right here is a key example as to why I say this scheme is risky. As when you double in the half court like this, it's as simple as one pass that can make the defense have to start closing out, and all you need is for one closeout to not be early enough to be established before a blow-by ends up happening. And sure, Wemby is right there waiting, but Chet is skilled enough and aware enough to stop short of the basket to float this one over the top. If you ask me, it's not that Chet is soft or that he doesn't want to score. I think it's more about him getting engaged so he can then create, and he can do this pretty well.
Aggressive to the basket.
For big men, a lot of the time it comes down to feeling engaged in other ways besides just rebounding, so when they can see the ball go through the basket a couple times, it's always a kickstarter. And for Chet, once teams see him drop a couple, they have to help out, especially on mismatches like this, but helping this much off the strong side corner is just disrespectful.
Antonio from the corner for 3, over Wembanyama.
Eventually, Wemby would have to match up with Chet to slow him down when he's rolling, and this is exactly why I say it's important to get other guys going. Because even though Wemby is still helping off and is more towards the paint, he still respects Chet enough to not just all out leave him, so that's why Wallace can attack the basket with ease. People will look at me crazy, but the Spurs sometimes look lost out there when it's other guys running actions instead of Shai, which then can lead to plays like this.
Holmgren the catch, and the finish. Good attack by Holmgren.
And then when running these dribble handoff actions, Case and Wallace can simulate the downhill pressure that Shai would, and just like earlier, he's making the right read out of it despite having less actions initiated. Just as Wallace did, Shai will have the same and even more attention from the defense anytime he gets near the paint, so shifting from your scoring bag and into your playmaking is going to be huge if you want your team to be successful. For those that don't see the proof, I want you to look at this drive right here. Doesn't this kinda look like a routine drive from Shai? Yeah, of course, not much different. Well, in a lot of these drives this series, he's continued to push through the double to try and go score. If he was thinking about passing earlier, he could have hit Case and Wallace on the wing. But hey, activating that playmaking badge is better late than never, as he sends the pass to Caruso once stopped, and off that one pass, he gets the defense to actually collapse, and I was rewarded one of the easier shots in the series.
Caruso to Gilgeous Alexander.
In game 1, there was a similar version of this where Shai moved the ball once getting stopped and once again ended up with an easy shot, and I get it, him being off the ball more is going to tank his scoring, but it lets guys play with aggression. Like McCain for example, if you go look at the box score, the numbers might not look as great sometimes, but having an aggressive guy next to you who is confident is exactly who you want going to battle with you. When that ego kicks in because you've been having a down series, this is where you have other guys who are ready to step up big and actually show up when they're called.
Ball's the board. McCain feeling it. Finding it.
And then with the attention the star provides, as McCain is in motion to make this pass easier, and this right here is straight cash.
Locked in. I mean locked in right now.
McCain is one of those players who you can tell is charged up by the bright lights, and you just have to let him be him. Countless of times, Jared has found ways to create space from his defenders to then have looks like this to knock down shots. And although he isn't converting at the highest clip, this pressure he puts on the defense gives the Spurs something extra to think about besides Shai. When defenses can't really double like they once were, this one Shai can get to his spots like he once was. And then with the best defender having to key in on Shai, you now have a situation where an injured De'Aaron Fox is now guarding McCain, and this is what happens next.
Sick and physical. McCain and his arm. Oh! And Fox's arm, and he scored anyway!
All of this isn't to say that Shai is the problem. As we all know, Shai is the reason this team is even here. But there have been far too many times where Shai is choosing his own route rather than the one given to him. When you slow down these plays and really see what's going on from the Spurs side defensively, it's not really a secret. They actively show their hand in a bold way and are daring Shai to call their bluff. From absurd doubles out far, collapsing the paint hard, and helping over deep before the drive is even initiated, the Spurs' only game plan is to take Shai out the game and make the other guys beat them. This plan works when you have a superstar who won't adapt to it, but at the same time, when you do this, you give the team the biggest advantage. See, OKC has a guy who can get downhill whenever he wants, and for that matter, he can get anywhere he wants to on the floor. With Shai being able to navigate so well, he also has the shot making to go with it, so this is where you get these extra strong coverages as we've seen throughout the playoffs. The Spurs, on the other hand, do not have a guy like this. As much as people would like to say Wemby's that and Wemby's this, Wemby cannot collapse the defense at the rate that Shai can, nor can he extend doubles out to half court. So this is where OKC has the advantage going into Game 6. This series has been amazing, and I want to hear your thoughts. So head over to my website, which is in the comments below, and tell me who do you think is going to win this series, and I'll see you in the next video.